No, I met, he gave him the evaluation and evaluation.
It's on Facebook. This is my proudest Toastmaster. Yeah, it really was. It's okay.
John Dunn, the man, the legend. He's going to be a legend in Toastmasters.
Legend
I call this meeting of Central Board of Facilitators Toastmasters Club number 9958 to order. Thank you all for being here tonight. We provide supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communications and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Through this mission, each Toastmaster gains Each Toastmaster gains a clear understanding of the club's purpose, and the organization as a whole benefits from a shared set of values and goals. I'd like to introduce now the president, Gail.
Pledge.
Do you want to lead us in our flag and pledge?
Oh, yes.
Jonathan.
Yes. He's always got a thought. Come on.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Without further ado, I'd like to... What?
Would you like a thought from Jonathan?
Oh, I don't have anything.
And then Jonathan.
I don't have anything to say.
Oh, no!
Yeah, right.
That's hard to believe.
The thought for the day. The farmers had it right. They planted wheat in the ground, and sure enough, wheat would come out. They planted cotton in the ground, and sure enough, cotton would come out. So I ask you tonight, as the thought of the day, what seeds are you planting in your own life? With that being said, I would like to introduce to the lectern our president, Miss Gail Smith.
Look nice and pink.
Thank you.
Oh, please, don't get started.
I remember that speech. Comments. Well, good evening.
Good evening.
Wow, this has been one, is hellacious a word?
Yes?
Yes. It's been one hellacious week for yours truly. But I'm here, and I'm so glad to hear you guys invigorate me, and I hope that you guys feel the same. You get invigorated and enthused after our meetings. You never know what you're going to hear, what you're going to hear. I just said that. What you're going to say. Repeat myself. Before we get into the actual meeting, I would like to have our returning guest stand up and tell us why she came back. Jennifer Carr.
Well, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am still enjoying the freedom without the kids. That's why I'm here again, and I know today is Pablo's icebreaker.
Yeah.
So I come here to support him or to get him more nervous.
We'll let Pablo determine that. I'm sure it's going to be the former. Most of you know, but possibly not all of you know, that this past Saturday, your District 84 Toastmasters had its training, its leadership training. And I'm so proud to say that 6 of 7 of your officers were there. I know, it was a great turnout on behalf of our leadership. And I am hopeful that our 7th officer, Mr. Bavalier, will be able to attend the makeup, which is scheduled for August 18th in Altamont Springs. The reason, first of all, by having our 6 officers there, we are already on path for the Distinguished President's Club ribbon. Yes.
Well, also want to mention that 2 of your members presented
Yeah, oh, yeah.
to a crowd of 80 each.
Oh, my. Really?
Yeah, it was a big crowd,
Oh,
and it was
that's
exhilarating.
Oh.
An hour of talk to a captive audience. That's
A captive audience.
Well, I am so glad you stood up, because I was actually going to mention that.
Oh,
But,
okay, well, good.
yes, I will comment on that real quickly, but I did want to let our members know that your officers, by attending the leadership, we have now earned one little called rally point, a toasty point, toward our Distinguished Club Plan goals.
Not a full point, honey.
Excuse me?
Not a full point. You gotta go twice.
Okay.
Sorry.
Half a point.
Correction.
Point well taken.
Half a point well taken.
By having all 7 of us there, we would have received a $25 gift certificate from our district. But by getting Charlie to the backup training on the 18th, we will receive a $10 gift certificate from the district. In addition, I've asked all of the officers to give a manual speech about the various workshops that they attended in order to relay to you the information. Your district, this District 84, is very, very, very busy, active. And I have a feeling, I've not heard this, but I have a feeling that this leadership is trying to get this district to leverage itself to be the #1 district in the world. For our new members, you don't know this, but this District 84 actually formed July 1st, 2010, 11, just maybe 2 years ago.
No,
District
we're on
43,
we're on our 5th district governor, so it was 5 years ago.
Oh, wow, really, that long?
Where have you been?
Boy, what was?
Dave, Ron,
Okay.
Scott, Dennis, and Dee, so yeah, 5 years ago.
All right, then 2007-ish. We were District 47. We became so big, we were uncontrollable. And Toastmasters International had to split us geographically. We have become District 84. And the leadership in this district, y'all as members, take advantage of it. We are into something really, really big. Then, with that said, I didn't attend the presentation that Julian was referencing, but I did hear people going down the hallways and went, wow, this was really fabulous, wow, da-da-da-da-da-da. And when you saw Julian, you could just see he was in a cloud. I know it was just so much fun.
But you did attend Stevens.
But I did attend Stevens. He gave the president's workshop, of which I am a president and attend it. And when I walked away from that, Stephen is an outstanding Toastmaster, but I was so impressed with the caliber of not only the content, but also of the delivery. He was the first presenter, the first workshop that I attended, and I tell you, every workshop thereafter I attended, not quite as enthusiastic, but still fabulous information, fabulous materials that are making their way down here at the club level. Let's see, what else did Do any of the officers want to take a quick second and just say something small? I'm biding some time because Pat Stogner has just arrived. She's going to be up next here in this. But do any of our officers want to say anything about the TLI? No? Okay. Well, if not, then I would like to have our Vice President of Membership, Pat Stogner, come forth to induct our 2 new members. Great. And I don't know which Okay, that's just a little bit longer. So you have.
Hello, everybody. I'm sorry that I'm asleep. I'm no longer the sergeant at heart, so it's like, wow, that gave me a few extra minutes, and I took advantage, so I apologize for that. But good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be able to induct our new members. I'm so excited. Membership in Toastmasters is a privilege, and the way to gain the benefits of our program is to actively participate. Do you, Linda, and Pablo, Marty can't speak Spanish. Can you say that again? Pablo.
Yes.
So do you, Pablo, and Linda promise to be active members in this club, to attend meetings regularly, and respect and prepare fully for your duties? Do you also promise to fulfill the other points in Toastmasters' promise? The other points.
Quite a few.
To be active members, to attend meeting regularly, to prepare all your speeches to the best of your ability, basing them on the projects in the Toastmaster program manuals, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve the club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat fellow members and guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so that they can see the benefits that Toastmaster membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and the rules of all Toastmaster educational and recognition programs, and to maintain honest and highly ethical standards during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. Thank you. Now to the club members. Do you, the members of Central Florida Facilitators, Toastmaster Club 9958, promise to support Pablo and Linda as they work for the Toastmaster program?
Yes.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to declare you installed as members of Central Florida Facilitators 9958 Toastmaster Club. And as a symbol of your membership, if you would come up in our appreciation, I would like to present you our president, Gail, who is going to give you your Toastmaster pin, which I expect that you will wear proudly.
Yes, you look like one. Congratulations. Thank you. I owe you. We'll have to get some. But
I have a question.
congratulations.
Did we ever vote to that?
Photo? Pat, you in front of the banner? That's good.
I lost track.
Micki knows if they were voted in or not.
You
Micki
memorized all
has
the
the
minutes.
minutes.
All right. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Congratulations again. Now you know your membership allows you to go to any meeting worldwide. So there is no excuse not to go to a meeting. Our Toastmaster this evening, Micki D, has just completed her Competent Communicator Manual and is now working on the Competent Leadership Manual, which she hopes to complete by, you say, next June? So 11 months or so. That's fine, Toastmasters has no timetable. Tonight, she is the Toastmaster for the very first time, and it is relying on your patience and help to get her through the process. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Micki D.
I'm wearing heels tonight, so you'll be able to see me from behind the lectern. What's in a name that we call a rose? By any other name will smell as sweet. This is a commonly quoted part of a dialogue in William Shakespeare's play, Romeo and Juliet, in which Juliet argues that the names of things do not matter, only what things are. Dear fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, I have the privilege to be your Toastmaster tonight, and I want to thank you for this opportunity. I also have a ton of fear in my bones, for which I have to thank Julian, who twisted my arm to take this role tonight. Now, seriously, I do thank Julian for this and for all his help. This is an icebreaker for me as a Toastmaster, like it is for Pablo tonight as a speaker. Our theme tonight is what is in a name. And I have to confess, I had a great time searching the internet for quotes, ideas, even name interpretations that I could share with you tonight. This is how I found a website named Evaluators that provides name analysis. I promise this meeting will be fun. Now, we don't have changes to the agenda, thank God. We have...
There's actually one over here.
Yeah, Patty and I switched. I
Okay.
am the grammarian and she is the vote counter.
Okay, thank you. Then let's start with our reliable theme of functionaries. Patty, thank you. Could you please tell us about your role tonight?
Fellow Toastmasters, as vote counter, I'll pick up your ballots for best speaker, best favorite topic speaker, best evaluator, and most improved speaker. I will tally up the results for reward presentations at the end of the meeting. I'll pick up any of your comments that you have written from the speakers or any meeting participant and deliver the comments to the appropriate person. I will collect your votes, please, and then hand out your certificates. The president will hand out certificates. That's okay. That's vote counter. Thank you.
Julian is a grammarian.
Thank you. As a grammarian, one of my duties is to choose the word of the day, which, since I just learned I was grammarian 10 minutes ago, I had to come up with something, and I'm going to choose it right now as I speak. Since we're talking about big and mighty things,
I cannot even pronounce that.
gargantuan. That means huge. So the District 84 meeting was a gargantuan event. So I will keep track of those who use the word of the day, and those who do not will be fined 25 cents. Guests and members who have not yet given their icebreaker will not be fined. I will also listen to colorful imagery and use of exceptional vocabulary and grammar, and will suggest improvements in grammar as needed. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Please count me in with 25 cents. I cannot pronounce this word. Stephen is our accountant tonight. Can you tell us a few words about this?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. As our counter, I'm listening for any of those verbal hiccups that you might be using, as any double clutches, bridge words where you keep running on your sentences, bridging them with like, and so, but, now, well. I'll also be, as I tend to, hearing tongue clicks, lip smacks, and any other uses of, like, you know, as an example. As I hear them, I try to point them out as quick as I can with the buzzer. If you do not wish the buzzer, you may wish to say so. Generally, I avoid doing it to anyone who hasn't gotten their CC yet. In the meantime, I'll also be taking notes here on the sheet. For members who have already given your icebreaker, if infractions are 10 cents each to a maximum of $1, so make sure that you pay the treasurer at the end. The use of the buzzer is not to embarrass or humiliate or distract anybody, although working through distractions is a great way to learn this way. The point is to give you the immediate feedback, as opposed to later at the end when I say you've had 20 odds and you go win. That's for when you know win. Both speakers, you neither do a CC. I'm going to assume I'm skipping it unless you want it. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Tony Gittles is helping us as a timer tonight.
I am pretty sure that Micki believes she has a gargantuan task tonight. But I also have a lot of responsibility as your timer for this evening. The purpose of the timing is to get you to organize your thoughts and express yourself in a specific amount of time. For our scheduled speakers, Pablo, you have 4 to 6 minutes for your icebreaker. You will see the green light at 4, the yellow light at 5, and the red light at 6. When you see the red light, you should wrap up your speech in 30 minutes. Linda, your time is 5
30 seconds.
30 seconds. What did I say?
30 minutes.
30 minutes? I told you there was a lot of responsibility. Linda, your time is 5 to 7 minutes. You'll see the lights at 5, 6, and 7 minutes. Those of you that don't have a role, beware, you may be called on for table topics, and our timing for that is 1 to 2 minutes. You will see the green light at 1 minute, the yellow light at 1.5 minutes, and the red light at 2 minutes. You also should wrap up your presentation in 30 seconds. For our evaluators, 2 to 3 minutes. You must speak a minimum of 1 minute and 30 seconds to qualify for voting. A maximum of 3 minutes and 30 seconds. You'll see the green light at 2, yellow light at 2.5 minutes, the red light at 3 minutes. And beware, if you go a minute over your designated time, I will embarrass you somehow. I haven't quite figured it out yet. We're going to keep this meeting on time. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
As I was telling you, I found this website, Evaluator, and of course the first name that I searched there was my name. They say, you take life seriously and can be easily and deeply hurt and go into moods which can be quite extreme at times, causing much turmoil and unhappiness. Very true. Finding it difficult to join in conversation with those with whom you are not well acquainted, you could feel quite alone and uncommunicative with new acquaintances or in a large crowd. That's why I'm here. And two funny quotes that I have to share with you. Bill Cosby said, always end the name of your child with a vowel, so when you yell the name, we'll hear it. That's why my name is Mihaela, because every time my mother was shocked with my bad behavior, she would scream, Mihaela! Benjamin Franklin said, I wake up every morning at 9 and grab for the morning paper. Then I look at the obituary page. If my name is not on it, I get up. Let me introduce you tonight Pablo, a loving husband, father of two boys, Adrian and Gabriel, and who shares a passion with his family for soccer. He is originally from Guatemala in Central America. Today he will talk about his journey of moving to this beautiful country and the day he took off his shades. Please help me welcome Pablo.
Madam Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the opportunity of having me tonight. Everybody has their own pair or favorite shades, sunglasses for the sun, right? We can protect from the sun. Sometimes, I don't know if this happened to you when you're driving, sometimes all of a sudden you begin to see everything darker and everything is kind of weird, but you don't know what is going on. It's because you forget to take off your sunglasses, your shades. And you're driving, you say, wow, it's very dark. So then all of a sudden you take your shades and you begin to see everything clearly, everything very nice. Let me tell you my journey about my sunglasses and shades. I'm from Guatemala City in Central America. For you to have an understanding is United States, then you go to Mexico, then the first country in Central America is Guatemala, neighbors with Mexico. Beautiful country, very well known for our rums, for our deep sea fishing, the #1, #2 in the world, for our coffee, for our volcanoes, the city of lakes, they say, beautiful country. I was there in Guatemala. I own my own business. I was doing the same thing that I'm doing here. I was doing marketing services and printing and promotional programs. I was very happy. It's a small country, so you have a lot of network. I was having a very strong and very healthy network of my friends and my associates, so business was good. So then my mom died from cancer, and we start coming here because we have family in here. So we start coming here to visit my sister every holiday because I was not able to spend the Christmas back in Guatemala because I was missing my mom. So every single year that we were here, we were thinking with my wife, you know, everything is beautiful and it will be good for our kids and it's very quiet. She lives in the land, so it's quieter than here. And we were thinking, you know, everything is gargantuan in this country. So it will be a good opportunity, but I didn't know what to do because I had to sell my business and I had to do everything in my business. Again, it's a small country. It's not like everybody says, oh, you know what, you want to sell your business, you can do it in a day. When I get back to Guatemala after thinking about like 3-4 years, one of my customers says to me, you know what, Pablo, my wife is a graphic designer, my sister is a graphic designer, and I'm thinking of getting a business for them. Would you be able to sell me your business? Let's do it. So we negotiated that for like 3 months. Jenny my wife was at the time in Argentina in a training. When she came back, I told her about the idea. I didn't even finish that sentence and she was already packing. So that's why we're here. Then when we came here and get my new shades, right? I was feeling like Tom Cruise in Top Gun. My new shades, new life, everything is going to be superb, everything is going to be very nice. But when I came here, I find out that my English was not very good. I was feeling back in Guatemala, I was teaching, learning English since I was a little kid. But then I realized what doing business in here is different to have a conversation there. So everything begins to get a little bit darker. Everything, on my shades, it begins to be like, oh wow, this is not as easy as I was thinking. So I begin to think about, wow, what is it that I'm going to do? Why is it that I'm going to? Why did I did all these changes? Because for me and my family, it was difficult at that time. When you change from one country to the other one, then you have a responsibility with your family, with your kids. You have to make money, right? So everything was getting a little bit darker on my shades. When I came here, also my heart begins to get with all this excitement about this new opportunity. So then I begin to realize that maybe I have to see the things a little bit different, because I was feeling sometimes I was very afraid, or I don't know if afraid is the word, but I was very concerned about my accent, about my English. So I was thinking that maybe that's why some people they're not doing business with me, or maybe that's why some people was a little bit prejudiced with me. So everything through my eyes of that sunglasses were gray. So I was thinking, why is it that I'm here? It's kind of difficult to be here and don't do that. So one day driving, I just realized, you know what? I have to take my shades off. That's the problem. I'm driving, and every time that it gets dark, I don't take my shades off. I still have my shades. And that's when I realized that all this opportunity that I have in here to have a better career, to have a better opportunity for my kids, especially in sports. I love soccer. So imagine in here there's tons and tons and tons of academies about soccer, so they can have even a scholarship about that. So I begin to get very excited. That's the day that I took off my shades and say, wow, this is beautiful. And it was like kind of at that moment when Mr. Miyagi was training Karate Kid, and he was like, what is this, wax on, wax off, wax on, and then all of a sudden he goes like, wah, wah, wah. So I was thinking just like that too. I was in my wah, wah, wah moment. And I was thinking, okay, you know what? Now I have patience. Now I have a better relationship with my kids. I have a better relationship with my wife, because this deal can make it or break it, I was thinking. But now that I have all that things with my wife, is super strong. And this country is teaching me not only be a citizen of this country, but being a citizen of the world. So I'm very appreciative with that, and that's the day that I took off my shades. Thank you.
We have a minute for your comments.
Madam Toastmaster, 60 seconds.
Thank you. What is in your name? Julian. The name of Julian indicates that you are patient, meticulous person who enjoys working in a very detailed, systematic way in such fields as mathematics, science, mechanics, computers, or engineering.
Patience part, I don't think that's true.
They say wrongly, your infinite patience will allow you to develop intricate, involved skills to perfection. However, it is not easy for others to work and live with you. I'm going to check with your wife. As you deliberate so long in arriving at conclusions and allow small details to restrict your point of view. You tend to be dominated by your habits and dislike changing the pattern of living that is comfortable to you, and you have a traditional and conservative outlook in almost everything. Is it close?
About half and half.
Our speaker number 2 tonight, Linda, she will be giving her third speech with a focus on getting to the point. Her general purpose is to entertain you. She will not be using notes and controlling nervousness while still achieving the purpose of her speech or point she wants to communicate, which is to explain the title of her speech, Road to Roy. Please welcome Linda Earps.
Toastmaster and honored guests, I like to, he's on here. Thank you. I came this close to joining a gang. It all started when my husband, who has been motorcycle riding since the 60s, and he thought that if both of us had a motorcycle, it would be so much better than me being on the back. So I bought a motorcycle, and I went to a 3-day course, and it was in June, and it was sweltering hot, and I barely survived. And when I got home from the class, actually, I was dry heaving from the heat, and I called a free nurse hotline because I thought I was dying, and they told me to drink and rest, and I'm having a hard time. My husband actually also got us involved in target shooting, and I went to the course the next day, even though I didn't feel well, and I made it the very first time in the final test around a figure 8, and I stayed within the lines, which got me passing the course. Everyone was very surprised about this, as I was as well. And then I had to learn a different, each hand and foot does a different skill, which is very difficult. And I bought a motorcycle, a 1200cc Harley, white pearl paint on it, and it has a little windshield and the forward controls, which is your feet are out front like this instead of straight down. It's very cool. I dumped it 5 or 6 times, not so cool. And one time I burned my inside of my knee, which is, I had a gargantuan burn that it stuck out about as thick as my thumb. And it was these kind of pants I was wearing. Actually, I have it patched now. And it casually blew against the pipe and then against my skin, and the fabric liquefied and stuck to my skin. And it was not good. And I eventually learned to use the clutch and let it out slowly. Otherwise, you end up on the ground thrown off like a rag doll. And I also became better at putting on the gas enough as I was moving forward so that it didn't stall and also throw me on the ground. My husband was beginning to think every time he turned around, I was on the ground. So he was wondering if I was going to make it. One time I picked the bike up by myself with adrenaline when I had dumped it in an intersection, and I pulled onto a convenient cement pad with an electrical box there and 2 signs that said no parking, just to calm down a little bit before I went on. And a police cruiser went by, and they didn't say anything about me parking there. I think they knew what was wrong. And I, let's see, once when I was approaching a red light on Route 50 and the Florida Turnpike, I was going about 55 and I didn't seem to be stopping. Then I grabbed more on the brake, pressed harder on the brake, still going 55. And I rolled through the intersection like a penny when it's starting to wobble all over the place and almost go over. And I made it through and I pulled onto the side and waited for my husband to get through the light. And a group of bikers that were behind us went by and they pretended they didn't know me. And I realized that the Route 50 was not the road to ruin. Most of the time, I was not acknowledged by other motorcycle riders. And I would be at a light and I would look over and wave, smile, and they would just look straight ahead. No reaction. One day, my husband asked me to take his motorcycle out, and I had just gotten up to 55 on 441, and I heard a voice that said, that car is going to pull out in front of you. And I kind of argued with myself, saying, well, it's a big old station wagon, they're just sitting there, they're not moving forward. And then when I got right up on top of it, they lumbered out in front of me. And I went all fishtaily all over the place and stayed up, and phew, even though it was an unfamiliar bike, I was okay. And it seemed like I had help though, and it sounded like my guardian angel. And I also went on a charity run to Tampa, and it poured down raining on the way home, and I didn't have a rain suit or anything yet, and all those wet roads were not the road to ruin either. And one day I was doing 55 in a school zone, and there was a wooden fence all along the road, right next to the road, and an eagle or an osprey picked up as I was coming towards it, and we both noticed that the geometry was not good, and I realized that there was a white car behind me, and I thought maybe they would go in the passing lane so they didn't run over me if the bird knocked me down. So I just stayed towards the line, and we both went together, and then I went on by it and got free of it. And I think I heard the rabbit say, it dropped the rabbit too as it was trying to lift over top of me, and I think I heard that rabbit say thank you. I'm already over time. I guess I can't do the last part. I really hesitated trying not to read it. So I will tell you that the last story did not get me to the road to ruin either. Thank you.
Thank
Toastmaster at 12 minutes.
Madam Timer, can we have a timer's report, please?
Yes. If no applause. If no applause, no timers report. Pablo Brawl has for 4 to 6 minutes. He spoke 6 minutes and 28 seconds. Linda Earls asked for 5 to 7 minutes. She got the hook at 8 minutes and 14 seconds.
Thank you. I guess in this case, we don't have to vote, right? Now, I have the pleasure to invite here our Toastmaster back for the table topics part of the meeting.
Our title is What's in a Name? If you count all the letters in my name, it would be gargantuous. We're Catholic, we had names after saints, and we had confirmation names, so my name is Patricia Ann Geraldine Stogner. Try writing that out. Would our guests like to be included in our table topics? Table topics is an opportunity for people to speak impromptu, kind of makes you think on your feet. It's either going to be something you absolutely love or something you absolutely dread. Actually, I find it to be a lot of fun. So is it okay that our guests be included in this? Okay, super. As Micki mentioned, she read a lot of things about what your name says about you, and I did the same thing. And I must have been on some of the same websites, because I have a challenge for you guys. But first, I want to ask, do you think a name classifies you in a certain way? Do you think that certain people have certain names? Jonathan.
Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, most distinguished guests, do I think names mean anything? Well, it's interesting that you would ask me that. As a father, in 2004, I found out my wife Melanie was pregnant with a boy. And guess what? I wanted him to be tougher than me. My name is John, for those of you that don't know, and I was commonly mistaken as a toilet many times as I was growing up. You factor in the last name of Dunn, and it was, are you done on the toilet yet? So over and over again. So I said, my son is not going to have the same problems that I had. I own a gym. I'm exposed to lots of tough people. And I knew a particularly tough individual who was Nordic. Nordic's tough. His name was Gunnar. So when my son was born, his name was to be Gunnar, because I knew he was going to be tough. And guess what? The young man is 7 years old now, and he is tough. He can squat, he can do push-ups. I can't lie and say that he can do pull-ups, but he can jump up and hold himself on bars. And he is all boy. He's got lots of friends. To the best of my knowledge, he hasn't been bullied yet, or his name hasn't been made fun of. Incidentally, his middle name is Russell. That's my father's name. And he's very dignified, just like my father. Does that aspect have anything to do with it? No. At my gym, I have a person that cleans in there, and his name is Winthorpe. And I was watching an Eddie Murphy movie at one time, and the name Winthorpe signified someone that was a butler. So maybe perhaps my particular opinion is yes, names do mean something for some people. But as we all know, not one size fits all. Madam Table Topics Master.
Today we have, I guess you could call them unisex, maybe that's giving my age away, but either gender, no gender names. So what do you think of having your son or daughter called by a guy's name? Say, my granddaughter's name is Owen, which I always thought was a boy's name. Or we might have an Apple or North. So I was wondering what you would think of that, Ms. fellow Toastmaster Rowling.
Madam Toastmaster, distinguished guests, other Toastmasters, probably in the wrong order saying that. Gender non-specific names. I'm actually a junior. My dad tried 3 times to have a boy, and I was his last shot because my mom had C-sections each time. My dad's name is Roland. So because they couldn't name me a junior, they're just like, just call her Rolanda. But I've met friends along the way, like I knew a Dana, who was a boy, and I thought the name was very interesting, although I can imagine that he had some issues in school with it. And now this week I have someone in one of my training classes named Dana, and when I first saw the name, I immediately thought it was another male. But when I talked to her on the phone before the training, I realized that it was a female. So I could see that there's some issues with non-gender specific names. And another friend of mine in high school, he was the 3rd. So you were talking about a junior. He was William Beverly the 3rd. And he swore he was stopping that. My kid is not going to have the middle name Beverly like I did. So it's pretty interesting to hear about the non-gender specific names. Do I think it has a huge impact on anyone? Not really. I think everyone overcomes their own little hurdles. I can't tell you the number of times since my name has been truncated down to Row, which is very simple. Row, row, row. Oh, yeah, I've heard that one before. Yeah, great. You're so witty. And row, row. Oh, I haven't heard that one either. We all get it. I don't care what your name is. You're going to get it some one way or another, whether it's not gender specific or not. And that's what I think on that topic. Madam Toastmaster.
It's traditional to name a child after maybe somebody that has passed on, or maybe after a grandfather, or even a grandmother, for that matter. And there are lots of juniors. What do you think about that, Mrs. Pablo?
Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, what I think of that, I personally don't really like it when a child has the same name as the mother or the father. I think that takes away part of the personality of the child. It becomes back in our country we have friends that they are Julio, Cortez, grandfather, son, grandson, and they feel proud of it. But many times we have also heard, like, can I speak to Julio? And they're, what Julio? Father, son, and you don't know where you start. So I think in a way that it would be much better to have either, you can have it as a second name, maybe a middle name, but if you really want to have the name of someone else in your family, but I believe many times it's better to name your children with their own name. Thank you. Thank you.
What is 1930 and 2002? How much time?
1930, 730.
37, what?
1930 is 7:30, but that's when
Which
you were
is when
supposed
you
to
started,
start.
which you
Okay,
did.
and so what time do I have to end? I want to make sure we stay on time. Okay, well,
You can have 5 more minutes.
what was that?
You can have 5 more minutes.
Why, thank you, ma'am. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a fun question. Well, now, I think I'm going to pick somebody out of the audience that is going to do this for me. I lost the word. What is it?
Oh,
Excuse me?
sorry, I thought you wanted that.
No, I've used that one already. When you use, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this to our fellow Toastmaster, Susan. And what she's going to do is this is a list of the alphabet, and with each letter that you spell out your name is going to give us a sense of what your personality is. And you can tell us if they're right on or way off.
Okay.
Let's start off with S. You are very closed-minded, way off. So I'm probably about the most open-minded person you would find. You feel like you have to equal up to other people's standards. Well, I do like to please other people, so that might be somewhat true. We already know about the S again. And A, you can be very quiet when you have something on your mind. Absolutely. When I'm thinking about something, often I cut off everything around me and just quiet inside my mind. Let's find the end. You like to work, but you always want a break. Oh yeah. I'm always taking a break. Housework, oh, I know it has to get done, so I'll do it, but yeah, I want my break. Okay, I'm green, so that works for me. Thank you.
Now I have another one, and I think I'm going to give it to somebody who I know doesn't believe in this kind of stuff. So we're going to ask Mr. Julian Cotto to see what his name spelled out.
Boy, this is a gargantuan stack of leap of faith for me. Julian J. Jealousy. Oh, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of you, Pat.
Did you ever used to be?
Huh?
Were you ever jealous, like in your youth?
Oh,
Just a couple of years ago?
Absolutely.
Possibly. Okay, I was just
Absolutely.
curious.
You know, every man is jealous. Because a woman knows what buttons to push to make him jealous.
So, only the girls' fault.
E. You are a very exciting person. Now that I agree with 100%. Oh, I'm not E, that's
You're not
E.
an E.
You feel like you have to equal up to other people's standards. Nope. L. Love is a hard word for you to comprehend. Sometimes it's tough. You have a bad temper sometimes, yes, but it's gotten a lot better. It has gotten a lot better.
That was I.
No, I'm going I, yeah.
Yeah, that was I.
A, you can be very quiet when you have something on your mind, that's true. And N, you like to work, but you always want a break. Nope. I am pretty much, I can be a workaholic at times. I actually am. Thank you, Madam President.
I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to pick somebody who has a long name and a lot of different letters. So how about you, Mr. Charlie Bungle here?
Okay, let's see. C. You definitely have a part of your side of you. Don't be shy to show it. Yes. H. You are not judgmental. No, I am judgmental.
This is true confession.
You can be very quiet when you have something on your mind. Absolutely. R. I can't find R here. Oh, here it is. You are a social butterfly. I wouldn't quite say that. L. Love is hard. Love is a hard word for you to comprehend. No. It's already said. Oh, you have a bad temper sometimes. Absolutely. E. You are a very exciting person. Depends who I'm exciting at the time.
anybody would like to find out about their personality, I'll just pass them out, and you guys can have some fun with that. With that, I believe we are out of time for table topics. So at this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Tony Giddles for a times report.
We had 6 table topics, participants, and all of them qualified. Just to remind you what they spoke about so that you can vote for your favorite. Jonathan Dunn, do names mean anything? Minute 56 for Londa, gender, non-specific names, 1 minute 54. Jenny, family names and tradition, 1 minute and 2 seconds. Susan Morgan, the letters of her name, 113. Julian, the letters of his name, 136. Charlie, the letters of his name, 103. Thank you, Matt. Table topics, Miss.
And now, I will bring it back to our general evaluator, or do I call the table topics master? So
Toastmaster.
sorry.
Toastmaster.
Toastmaster. On table topics, don't anybody? This is our Toastmaster.
You are going to hate me for this, but I have to read you some more. The name analysis, and I promise it won't be long.
I'm gonna time.
Yes, this one is particular. And it is about Charlie. The name of Charlie has made you serious-minded, responsible, and stable. You love the security of a home and family. You are fond of children, and as a parent, you are fair and understanding. People are drawn to you because they feel that you are patient, kind, understanding, and responsive. You would be effective in a career or in a volunteer work where you are handling people and serving in a humanitarian way. And I think this is 100% true. And now, let's see who is our general evaluator tonight. Tonight's general evaluator has had a great fear of being judged. The thought of being publicly evaluated was terrifying. The idea of public evaluating another was even worse. She has come to realize, though, that the power of Toastmasters is in the evaluations, not for being judged, but for the encouragement we each give each other to continue to learn and grow. Please welcome our general evaluator for the evening, distinguished Toastmaster Susan Morgan.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Another wonderful day at Toastmasters. It is my duty this evening to, number 1, evaluate the meeting, and number 2, to introduce our evaluators who will evaluate the prepared speeches. The first thing I will do at this time is to introduce our evaluators. Evaluations are the lifeblood of Toastmaster meetings. They are what keep members coming back for more. New members depend on them for information, help, and development. Long-standing speakers need them to prevent the onset of mental rust or complacency. The evaluation process separates Toastmasters International from any other organization offering public speaking and coaching. Lynn A has been a member of Central Florida Facilitators for a year, but remembers giving her icebreaker speech as if it were yesterday. She is honored to be evaluating the first speech of Pablo, the day I took off my shades. Please help me welcome Lynn.
Thank you, Susan. Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests, and especially Pablo. Pablo, many people would think that the role of evaluator is gargantuous. Gargantuan. However, you did such an excellent job on your first speech. It really made role a lot easier. Where do I begin? I felt like Pablo was very sincere. I learned a lot about him. You were very well prepared. Your speech was very well organized, had a strong opening, body, and conclusion that tied back to the opening. I loved his use of shades, the analogy that he used with the shades, comparing the shades to his challenges coming to a new country, how he had to improve his speech, his English, and how he perceived that others might have looked at him as being different, maybe a little bit prejudiced. I love the part where you use the gestures and describe how the light bulb went off and you looked at things with a different perspective. You were about the Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off. I love how you use your hands. I thought that was funny. Very good use of humor. I love the fact that you did not use notes. You only referred to your note cards a couple of times. You stood out in front of the lectern. You used excellent eye contact. It's very easy to relate to people, to connect to people when you look at them in the eyes. You were very well prepared. The only suggestion that I could give you to work on is to be careful about the pacing back and forth. I know a lot of people like to move around, they don't like to stand still, and that's fine. They feel like they can move to the different sides of the audience, look at different people in the eyes and connect better. However, when you pace back and forth a lot, sometimes you may have your back to the audience. Thank you. So, I know this was your first speech. You were probably a little bit nervous. You sure didn't come across as being nervous, though. I saw you as very confident, very relaxed, very sincere. I very much enjoyed your first speech. Welcome to the Central Florida Facilitators. We're glad to have you as a member. And I can't wait to hear your second speech.
Meifa is a water resources engineer, which you cannot tell by his name. Meifa has delivered CC manual number 3 twice. He still feels fresh to it. Meifa will learn more about the project through evaluating Linda's speech, Road to Ruin. Please help me welcome Meifa Chen.
Madam Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and guest, especially Linda. Linda was very brave to keep riding motorcycles. Although, Linda was even more brave to give a down-tuned speech without notes. Just remember, she went from with notes to without notes in a week. What a progress. I'd like you to keep trying it, just like riding motorcycles. Speeches, giving speeches is the same. The more you do it, the better you become of it, and the more confidence you will have. Linda shared us with her experience with a lot of very, very natural gestures. Those gestures were very, very sincere. You had visual aids, and you also use a lot of humor. For example, you compare what was cool and what was not cool. And another example, you say the rabbit say thank you. I also think you have very good foundation. An example of it is your voice. You have very, very good voice. Very calm, very genuine voice. Something I like to point out for the future is, for example, you wear your gloves and you have your jacket. I think probably you could wear the gloves before you came over and put on your jacket before you came over instead of undone it right here. Another suggestion is just ignore that time. Don't worry about it, because I think in about 2 to 3 minutes you are going to finish it. So don't worry about the best speaker award. Just finish your speech. Linda, you really have a lot of strength. Through doing more speeches, you will become an excellent speaker. I'd like to hear more your life experience and your stories. I'd love to see you to finish your motorcycle riding experience next time. Madam Julian.
Madam Timer, may we have a timer's report, please?
Well, by this point in the evening, everyone is very well trained. Both of our speakers qualify. Lynn with 3 minutes and 13 seconds. Meifa within time at 3 minutes and 8 seconds. And I'll remind Meifa, however, that he needs to work on his table topics timing.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Timer. And now is the time I get to ask all the rest of the functionaries how their jobs went. Oh, please vote, please.
Oops.
For either one, they both qualify. And while we're doing that, I will start with Stephen for the off counter.
I'm General Evaluator. This is what I have recorded. Micki, I had 4 double clutches, 2 tongue clicks, 1 for 70 cents therefore. Patty had 2 tongue clicks, a little 20 cents. Julian 3 double clutches, 30 cents. Tony with 1 double clutch for 10 cents. Pablo is icebreaker, therefore you don't owe anything. You did have 1 throat clearing, 4 7 double clutches, 5 bridge words. Linda, I'm afraid you already have given your icebreaker. By the time I got through, you had 22 5 double clutches, 20 bridge words. But you only owe $1.
Gonna have to write a check.
Pass. 3 tongue clicks, 1 1 double clutch, 3 bridge words for 80 cents. Jonathan, 2 bridge words, 20 cents. Rolanda had 1 1 double clutch, 5 bridge words for 70 cents. Jenny, you're a guest, you don't know anything. If you want to see it, you can come look. Susan, I heard 5 double clutches, 50 cents. Charlie had 2 double clutches for 20 cents. Lynn had 1 1 double clutch, 1 so for 30 cents. Meifa, I remember a day when you were giving a 15-minute speech and I got you for over 100. It was so bad. Jack came over afterwards and was complaining to me because I was buzzing. I caught none. And I was that is a gargantuan leap forward. And the only thing, just getting past the accent, but none of verbal clutches anywhere through it. You're doing a great job. Madam General.
Julian, would you give us your report?
Yes, Madam. This has been a gargantuan word of the day. Gargantuan.
Mine's still coming up.
The people that have used it, your time's up. A quarter. Julian, Tony, Pablo, Linda, Pat, Lynn, and Stephen. I didn't hear anybody else use it.
Gargantuan.
That wasn't
You
using
used
it,
it?
that was exclaiming it.
Yes, and Meifa said he used it. Does anybody collaborate Meifa?
Yes.
Yes.
Listening closely, I definitely heard.
He does not receive all my emails.
For colorful phrases, good or bad grammar usage, Gail Smith for the first colorful phrase of hellacious. Must have been all that army traveling around with the army all those years. It's tough. Linda, sweltering hot. The rabbit said thank you. Rolanda, row, row, row. Susan, mental rust of complacency. Wow, but you said it.
I said
it.
Lynn wrote it, I said it.
Lynn had some few colorful words. Gargantuous. And I love the fact that you love the fact that you love facts. You love all those facts that you love. And Pablo, wee! I thought I was watching Bruce Lee up there. And I said, wow. And Meifa, don't worry about best speech award. Just finish your speech. Thank you.
Part of the meeting that I get to evaluate the meeting as a whole, as well as to evaluate our evaluators. So first I'm going to start with that we started our meeting on time. Thank you, Charlie, for getting us right on time. I liked our pledge and thought. It was a little different to go to pledge and thought, but that was an interesting way to mix it up. Pat, you did a great job at the induction. I wanted to let you know that. And as a first-timer Toastmaster, I know it was a gargantuan job, but you did excellent. In fact, I would say you outdid yourself. You did a wonderful job. Our table topics were wonderful, a lot of fun. I particularly enjoyed mine. Thank you for allowing me to do one. And now on to our evaluators. Lynn, you did a great job as an evaluator. You did the sandwich method. We're able to give him a little bit of stuff to work on, yet at the same time was very encouraging. That was wonderful. And Meifa, the same thing. You used the sandwich method and told them what they can improve and how well they did otherwise. So I think that all in all, we had a wonderful meeting, and I'm excited to turn this meeting, control of this meeting, to our president, Gail Smith. Thank you. Good job. Boy, I love meetings like this. How about our Vice President of Education? Do you have a
How about
thought
that
for next
exciting
meeting?
guy, that Vice President of Education? Well, I want to remind you, everybody, that up to last term, I thought DCP was a four-letter word. Who cares? But Tony made a believer out of me. I was born again into the DCP family. She made a believer out of me, and now I am a DCP evangelist because I am part of another club that after 4 years finally just barely got DCP, and it is, the contrast is mind-boggling. It's enlightening to see the contrast. And DCP drives not only drives your accomplishment, your success, but it drives the success of the club by having all these goals that, for members to accomplish, that we can get the points in training, in finishing speeches, in getting our members, so on and so forth. So it really is the mechanism that pulls it all together. And I want you, every one of you, to be like me, to become a born-again DCP believer. Because believe me, you don't understand, it makes a huge difference on the quality of the club. And I want to say that I'm especially proud today of, even if it was without her intention, of Gail, because she did log into Easy Speak. Even if she was unaware of it. You get credit for it. And Pat, who said, I don't understand computers, she logged in. I saw it right there. And Patty and Meifa, shame on you. I haven't seen you guys log in.
I sent you emails.
You sent me
requesting for the login information. You never see my email.
But you guys need to log in. Because in reality, what you ought to be doing is logging in and scheduling yourselves for the different roles and the different speeches and whatever it is you want to do. Take responsibility. I am really not your babysitter. I'm not your mommy. I'm not your daddy. I don't want to be. I've got 2 of them. They're adults and I'm done. John, when they get to be adults and out of the house, you're going to say, woo! Hallelujah! So anyways, let's see, for next week I've got Stephen as a speaker, me as a speaker. Anybody else want to speak? We've got these officers. Gail has said she wants us to talk about what we learned. Anybody else? Pat?
Would you want me talking on the website changes?
Yes, I want him to talk on the website changes. How about you, Pat? You ready for a speech on what you learned at the meeting?
Sure.
All right, Pat.
Oh, wait a minute. No, not yet.
No?
No, unless I do Sergeant at Arms, but no. No, I'm not ready.
You're not ready, okay.
Yeah, 'cause
Anybody
I
else?
don't have it
No,
together.
okay. Let's see, table topics, I've got Charlie. Got you down. Evaluator, Linda, and Jessica Guthrie. See, Jessica logged in and reserved her spot. Timer, Micki. Odd counter, Meifa. Vote counter, Roe. And backup functionary, Patty, which looks like you're going to end up being, well, you got Grammarian as Tony. I've got Tony as Grammarian, so you lucked out. And general evaluator. Who wants to be the general evaluator? Pat is going to be the general evaluator. Now, that is a good question.
Had someone for that first.
That's the most important. Who wants to be Toastmaster first? That's the most important role of the evening.
Yeah, like she likes to do things over and over until she gets it.
Okay, Toastmaster. Who wants to be Toastmaster? Tony, you want to be Toastmaster?
Not next week.
Not next week. Pat, you want to be Toastmaster?
I'm the evaluator.
Well,
He's trying to promote you.
He wants to promote you.
I give you a promotion and a raise.
Double your.
All right.
So do we have a Toastmaster?
Pat Stogner is our Toastmaster.
If you
And
need
we
it.
will get a general
I'll do it.
evaluator.
I'll do that.
And Tony will be the general evaluator. Okay, so we've got a full slate. So for the following week, please log in.
Can you tell us the site, the login site?
easy-speak.org. And I have sent everybody their login name, their password, and I mean, even Pablo has already logged in.
I did it anyway.
So, you know, Pablo can also be a functionary
Right.
as a timer and all that stuff. So, you know, to have a good meeting really takes it, you know, to have quality meetings really requires everybody to get with the program and not have me like twist your arm or you know, have to come here and beg for roles. You know, you guys need to do it because that's what you have when you have a quality meeting. Then when we have guests, it's really attractive.
Julian, can you, on the Easy Speak, when you send out the agenda, can you have a hot link to the Easy Speak so that we can just link to it from there or not?
When I send out the agenda, no, because that's a PDF document. So it's automatically generated, but I can certainly, when every week you get an email. And in that email, it says, are you going to attend?
Julie, we can put something on the group list at the bottom.
On the group list? Yeah, you can
So I
do
know all the
that, yeah.
emails from the group list.
There you go.
Yeah, that
But-
might make it easier
yeah.
as everybody's in training
Sure.
and get in the habit
Yeah,
of
that'll
this.
be good.
I know time.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Right, we need to close by 8:20. Make it fast. Is this new business announcement or what?
No, it's the members.
Okay.
I am the membership, VP of membership.
Right.
And I just wanted to say we're going to have a new member here, Miss Elba.
Yay.
But what I really wanted to suggest is that everybody who needs a mentor, please get a mentor, because a mentor is somebody that can coach you and help you, guide you along in
Supposed to assign.
your speaking experience. And not only do you get a benefit as for getting a mentor, but the mentor also is going to benefit by being able to help and encourage someone else. So anybody who does not have a mentor, please raise your hand. Okay, so we have 3 people. Do you have a mentor?
Yeah.
Great, so we have 3 people that need mentors. If you'll all see me and just give me your name and email, we'll set it up.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. How about awards?
Yeah.
Yeah, we up for awards? Well, before we do that, first of all, I would love for everybody to join me in a round of applause for Micki D. Gargantuan job, as I think you found out being Toastmaster. There's more work behind the scenes than she made it appear. She made it look like a piece of cake, but there was a lot of work and prep work. So kudos on your path to competent leader. Good for you. We have a special ribbon to present to Pablo Prahl for his icebreaker. That just signifies that you have gotten through it. Last week, this gentleman had to leave a little bit early, so could not accept his award. If I could have Jonathan Dunn come forward. Leading me right into tonight's presentation. The most improved was none other than Toastmaster Meifa C.
Yeah.
Our best table topic award this evening. So glad to see her come back into the fold of Central Florida Facilitators. Rose. We missed you. We're glad you're back. Our best evaluator. Come on back. present the Tim Chastain Award, which is the prerogative of the president. Tonight, I would like to present this to Micki D. For what she did this evening, her first round. We're just so proud of you.
Thank you.
Now, best speaker. Ah, surprise! Are there any quick announcements? There being none, at least from the members. I am working on my HPL. I am going to be pushing the meeting back 2 more weeks, so we're actually going to have that on July 31st in 2 weeks. That, just so you'll know, it is a lengthy leadership, high-performance leadership, and it's a lengthy project. This is the 5th meeting that I will be having with my team, and I will be delivering a speech to wrap up what we've been doing. I will get myself on that schedule with our Vice President of Education. I also wanted to remind the Executive Committee, we are all meeting this Sunday from 1:30 to 4:30 at my place. Imperative that you all be there. We have lots and lots to discuss and work on. And now, comments from our guests. How about we start with Elda? You submitted your
I always enjoy every meeting. That's why I decided to sign up. But bear with me, I'm not ready to be thrown up there just yet. So I just want to still learn from everybody else and get comfortable and do my icebreaker when the time is right. But thank you for having me.
Okay. Jenny?
I enjoyed the meeting again a lot. I think I was more nervous than Pablo. Watching the time here and counting the minutes for him, I'm like, my goodness, is he going to make it today? But I really enjoyed it and all the companies. Really nice.
No further business?
I got one more thing.
Yes.
Everybody that owes money needs to pay Lynn. Okay, I'm the enforcer. Break at your knees.
No further business? Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Ma'am Tony, would you like to get a picture of our winners this evening before we take down our banner?
Thank you, Ann.
Yeah.
Can you send me my login information? Yeah. You know, I think you guys use the email. I never use
Never use what?
I think that's the email, right? You guys use the email. My Yahoo email is.
If we could have Micki and Meifa, and Rose.
Meifa_Chen.
Rose. Could we have our winners up front for a quick photo?
I was searching for my email. Looking in.
Oh, okay. Where's your
Do you remember him? Yes, I do. I'm going to pay you back one day.
Hey, Meifa and Rose.
Right here, okay. Did you get a cell phone? Well, and take one of those papers, Patty.